Happy Monday. We're on a new journey now. We just started with the book of Ruth. The book of Ruth is a very short book, 4 chapters, and it is what we call one of the historical books. And it's right after what we call the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible that were done during the time of Moses and traditionally have been accredited to the authorship of Moses. But we know probably Moses didn't write all of that. But right after that, we've got Joshua, then we got Judges, then we have Ruth. A beautiful little story of of love and what it means to be committed as family. In fact, a lot of you know the book of Ruth. You just don't know you know the book of Ruth. You know that passage that's always quoted at weddings, entreat me not to leave you? Yeah, that's from Ruth. It's in a different context than wedding, but that passage, that poem, is from Ruth. Now, let's get started here with the first chapter. Now, every good story begins with a problem. And in the first chapter, we don't have a problem. We have a blissfully happy family. You have a woman named Naomi, her husband, her 2 sons, and their 2 wives. Everything is going great. And then the father dies. Elimelech. He passes away. Not unusual, sad, but not catastrophic. Husbands usually die before wives. And it happened even in this story. The husband, the patriarch of the family, dies. It leaves Naomi in charge of the family. Everything's still good. Her 2 sons can take care of her. And then they die. Now we got a problem. You see, there had been a famine near Bethlehem, and Elimelech had taken Naomi and their family to Moab. Now they're in a strange country. The 2 sons had married Moabite women. So now Naomi has no blood family, no blood relatives. She's pretty much on her own with no men around her. There's no one to take care of her. Remember, there's no Social Security or retirement plans. It was always family took care of family. Now those who should be taking care of the family are gone. So Naomi says she's going to go back home. And she tells the daughter-in-laws, you need to go back home. Orpah does. Now, that's spelled O-R-P-A-H. Does it look familiar? Does it sound familiar? Yeah. Oprah got her name here. It's just her parents misspelled the name and ended up with Oprah instead of Orpah. Would have made a difference in her career probably with a different name. But that's where it comes from, this story right here. Orpah goes home. Ruth, she begs Naomi not to make her leave. And when Naomi goes back to Bethlehem, Ruth is with her. And her family greets Naomi, oh, we're so glad to have you back. And Naomi says, no, don't call me. Don't call me Naomi anymore. Call me Mara. Bitterness. Call me bitterness because God has dealt me a very, very bitter hand. And that's where our story begins. Every story begins with a problem. Now, here's one of the things that we kind of have to deal with in church life. There is this myth that if you love Jesus, then everything works out in your life. If you love Jesus and Jesus loves you, then you can always find a parking place at your favorite restaurant. In fact, you can always get a reservation at your favorite restaurant. Whatever you want to buy, well, it's always on sale. School comes easy to you. You make good grades. You meet the right people. You marry the right person. Yes, if you love Jesus, your life is just one big rainbow surrounded by singing birds. Now, I don't know who told us that, and I don't know why we believed it, but that's the biggest bunch of baloney that I have ever heard in my life. It's not true. We're not exempt from life. Life happens. Husbands die. Sons die. Marriages break up. Children make bad decisions. Things happen. We're not exempt from that. We don't get a free pass from the struggles of life. Now, what happens when something goes bad? Well, the first thing you have to do is acknowledge that something's gone bad. Yes, this is bad. There is grief involved in this. There's something that's been lost. Something important is gone. And we need to grieve that. Call me Mara. Call me bitterness. Now, no one wants to be that person. Who are you? Hi, glad to meet you. My name's Mike, and your name is bitterness. Okay. I got to find somebody else to talk to at this party. Nobody wants to be bitter. No one wants to be bitterness. But unless you acknowledge what's going on, that pain finds a place in your heart and it begins to fester to where it will poison every aspect of your life, and you will indeed become bitter. And you know them just like I know them. People who are good people who had something bad happen in their life and never dealt with it and became very bitter. Naomi is wise in that she acknowledges this. This is what has happened, and I'm very, very sad. You can't move forward until you say, this is where I am. Now, I know that's hard, and I know you don't want to do hard work on Monday, but it's where we are. So today's task, follow the journey of your soul and say with ruthless honesty, this is where I am. This is what's going on in my life. This is the challenge. This is the opportunity. But I'm going to start with Naomi. I am bitter. Things didn't go like I thought they would go, and I am grieving. Now, the story doesn't end there, but that's where the story starts. Every good story begins with a problem. And we have problems in our life. So admit where you are and understand that this is just the beginning. So that's your task, and I'm going to give you 60 seconds, and I'll see you tomorrow.